Born March 2nd, 1957, in Jefferson City, Tennessee, computer scientist and engineer Dr. Mark Dean is credited with helping to launch the personal computer age with innovations that made computers more accessible and powerful. Dr. Dean helped develop a number of landmark technologies for IBM, including the color PC monitor and the industry standard architecture system bus, which allows peripherals like monitors and printers to be plugged directly into computers. In 1996, he was named IBM Fellow, the first African-American ever to receive the honor. And in 97, he was
I'm sure the one person watching wasn't that bothered.
And inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame. He currently holds over 20 patents, including 3 of IBM's 9 patents.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Y'all good? Yes. Good. So this is the one I've been the most excited about. I'm just like the coolest day ever. So most of you know me. We do have some new people in the room. So I am Tiffany Green-Abdullah. I'm the Director of Digital Learners to Leaders. I'm also the Assistant Director of Learning Community Development in CEDO, which is the Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning. And we are here at Digital Learners to Leaders. This is our second sprint of the semester, the second half of our year-long cohort. So we are super excited to do AR/VR gaming today to really expose you all to immersive technologies, all the different opportunities that are open to you. And there's tons of them. So I'm just here to welcome you again. I don't have a big speech this morning. That we sort of hit me on the way. So we're excited. We're going to be opening up our applications for the next cohort in about a month for Digital Learners to Leaders. We're going to be doing a lot of outreach and Atlantic campus as well as the perimeter campuses. They do have a new dean there, and she's very excited about Digital Learners to Leaders and wants to see the number of perimeter students increase. And so to be sort of balanced out with our total student population from downtown to all the different perimeter college locations. So we're super excited. So please start telling your friends about DLL. We will be making some changes, possibly for the next cohort due to the process to what has happened this year. So we're super excited to have Mr. Daniels here to talk to you all about sort of immersive technologies and all of the opportunities available to you. So we are going to jump right in and get him going. He's trying to figure out the mic situation. So we're good. All right, so we'll see you later.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for having me this morning. I know it's early, it's cold, so let's see if we can have some fun. So I'm up here, I'm going to talk with you all about virtual reality, augmented reality, and interactive technologies. Maybe you can help me understand maybe the general background of how much you all have learned about the technology.
They all have varying degrees of sort of digital literacy. I mean, our students represent probably 30 plus majors. So our program is really focused on getting all of our students, sort of interdisciplinary, focused around different technologies. So they vary. You really got to hold them to see what they know about that.
cool. Well, my name is Gratier Daniels, and I am a project manager at a company called Futurist. We're based in Atlanta, Georgia. We're right across the street from Atlantic Station. We focus in providing client solutions using virtual reality, augmented reality, and new technologies. I have been in this space for almost 20 years. I went to graduate school at University of Central Florida, and I have a master's in engineering, and it specializes in virtual reality and augmented reality. It was simulations, interactive simulation and training systems design, but it's very similar to the programs here at GSU. So with this engineering degree and this VR, AR background that I had, it was really fun, and it's allowed me to do some really cool things. So as I stated here, I went to Florida A&M University in Tallahassee, Florida, got my undergraduate in engineering. Then I went to University of Central Florida. I have my graduate level engineering degree from there. Worked at Lockheed Martin for approximately 15 years. So being at Lockheed Martin, I was able to like drive tanks and play with airplanes, right? You know, I'm outside and I'm inside the tank trying to figure out how it works, because I'm going to go recreate it in virtual reality and create these high fidelity training platforms using VR and AR. It was really cool. So you can see some pictures down here. This is the inside of a M1A1 tank. This is the, looks like the commander's position. This is the gunner station, commander's position. And this is a Humvee we developed for, I want to say Desert Storm, one of the conflicts in Iraq where IEDs were new to the soldiers. So the soldiers came back and said, we need an immediate training solution to help our soldiers come back home. We designed and developed this 360-degree VR system, and that's inside of a semi-trailer, right? That's inside of a truck. So the trailer would expand and collapse, and they can put these on ships and airplanes and send them out. 9-month turnaround, unheard of, developing a system this large, that fast. This is circa 2006-ish. Let's see, what else I've had up there? I worked on many platforms. F-35, F-22, C-5, P-3. We build these up in Marietta. Has anyone had the opportunity to go to the Lockheed up in Marietta, right? It's a massive plant, right? Upwards around 10,000 employees there. And one of the amazing things is that we build these airplanes by hand. There are no robots, no machines. We're building them by hand. These two pictures are a flight trainer. It's on electrostatic hydraulic systems, so it's moving around. And we manipulate gravity to create forces inside the cockpit. So this is what's inside here. This is a C-130 cockpit. And it's a full wraparound dome where your entire view is filled with a virtual reality, a high fidelity virtual reality simulation. Again, it's in here, and that's me standing on it and installing these things. So I've installed these things all over the world, and they're really fun to play with. You know, I'm inside, and this is my office, right? I'm inside this cockpit flying around all day. That's what I do for a living. So that opportunity is available to all of you all. You're at the right place. This school right here has a lot of great technologies and initiatives. Okay, I know y'all heard VR, MR, XR. What all these are things, right? You know, what's the difference between them? So there's a slight definition up here. Virtual reality, the way I define it, the way folks describe it, is virtual reality is the notion of the self, the user, being placed in this fake world, right? So the natural extension was from video games, Fortnite, Oculus Rift. These are examples of our virtual reality. So, okay, folks are throwing this term out here, augmented reality. Well, it's almost the reverse, where, okay, I have a real-world scenario, and I'm going to place an object into my real world, right? I'm going to hold my phone up, take a picture of myself, and now I have some ears or some glasses, right? That's a notion of augmented reality. We have mixed reality and extended reality. These are still kind of blended together. Mixed reality is the notion of the augmented and the virtual world being merged, where the device that I'm wearing can sense the room and has an awareness of this chair here. So when it's displaying the virtual content in my real world, it knows this chair is here, so things will occlude, and what I mean by occlude, if I put my hand behind it, won't see it anymore. So that's where our extended and mixed realities are coming in. Any questions on the various realities we have? I'm sure there's gonna be more down the road. No? Okay. So here's a diagram that speaks to what I was just talking about. You know, this is a Microsoft HoloLens, one of the first consumer versions of a notion of augmented reality. She's looking at the real world, and then there's something hovering in space. She can see that. Here's an example of virtual reality. This individual is fully immersed into some fictional environment. So you all have this amazing and diverse background, right? So what goes into making these experiences? I talk with everyone, and I encourage everyone, because they cover so many spaces that it's applicable to everything, to all domains. So what goes into these immersive experiences? We have any 2D, 3D artists out here, right? We got some storytellers, right? Who are people making the beats? Who making beats in here? All right, so you got all these things that go into these experiences, which means everybody in here, if you're interested, you can take advantage of this technology and craft your narrative and tell your story, right? The applications are all over the place, so many applications. So what can we use it for? Where has it been successful? So I would say maybe about 4 or 5 years, VR, AR took off and it was an explosion. You know, everyone was thinking it was like it's going to be the next great tech thing, right? We're starting to figure out that's not the case, right? It's my personal opinion, being around for 20 years, is still not ready for entertainment and the prosumer level. There's still some things that it's lacking, which I'll go over in some of the later slides. But the applications for it today, community engagement. I was fortunate enough to receive a grant from Idea Capital in the city of Atlanta, and I created this experience called the Black Men Experience, where I created an experience that would help share, let me share empathy and emotions of what it could be like, you know, some of the things that Black men experience, right? This was around the time, maybe 2014-ish, and I was fully funded. I had a gallery at iDrum. Anybody knows iDrum? Oh, that's good, okay. iDrum, they're great artists, right down the street. But it was a cute community engagement piece. Folks came out, it was a great crowd, and it was a great way for me to share and tell stories. Science and culture and exploration. There's so many space VR experiences out there that it allows people to expand and to just go off and explore these worlds. I'm working with the Mars Society. They have the Mars Desert Research Station. And what they're doing is they're pioneering training techniques for our future astronauts to go to Mars. So what we're doing, we've built this environment in VR so they can train in real time. But the projection, the goal down the road is to, when we go to Mars, we send out all these drones, and they're scanning and taking all these pictures of their environment. You bring that back and put it in VR, so now you have a crowdsourced exploration technique. So you got 5 astronauts there, but you open it up to the world. Now everybody's exploring Mars and helping out. Right? That's an application. I won't go through all these. Performance art. You know, I work with T-Lang Dance. I work with iDrum, Morgan, and I was able to take these technologies and techniques and create this augmented reality performing arts stage. Basically, I had holograms floating up around the dancers, and it gave the illusion as if they were floating in space and interacting with all these things. Training and education. This is where the current money is at. folks who can find how to create training and educational experiences in VR, AR, they're getting the contracts and they are making the money. So what does this hardware look like? What are some of the things out there? Just real quick, by a show of hands, has anyone tried virtual reality? Okay, so the technology is out there, right? It's not unknown. Here are some of our platforms, and it has a slight development on here, right? You know, when we first started doing this thing, we had these big cables hanging out the back of them. So they're these tethered devices. And now we starting to mature. And like, let's get rid of these cables, get rid of this power, and let's utilize the computers in our pockets, our mobile devices, and put them in these headsets and see what we get. You know, they have let's see, mediocre performance when compared to something connected to a high-end computing device via a tether or a cable. So, hey, we got these computers in our pockets, let's use those. And then the next step, the next evolution from that, well, let's take these Snapdragon processors and just build these headsets. They're cheap, right? You know, they're $200 worth of technology. Let's just build a headset around it and give them some motion sensors. And now you have these standalone units, Oculus Go, you have the HTC Vives line of items. And now we're starting to see truly and fully standalone items when it comes to virtual reality. Similarly, we have a progression that was similar to the VR and AR. We got wearable technology, holographic technology, Microsoft. This is, I can't remember what that one is. And this one is the Magic Leap one. In our wearable category, what we're finding out about these are the wearables are very, very useful when someone needs to work, have some reference, and they need their hands free. So I'm finding people who are working on high-end machinery need to have their hands free. People who are maybe like a surgeon or doctor needs to reference, you know, a diagram, a chart. Or, hey, I'm a 2D, 3D artist, and I want to have a reference image, but I want to use my hands, right? You know, these are good for those applications. This is where Google Glass, I think, tried to make something. They sold it to the consumer, the prosumer. It flopped. That's not the target audience. There's a different target audience. And these are finding homes in the industrial atmosphere. Here we are with our holographic, you know, augmented reality. These are starting to hit the scene. They have mediocre performance. The field of view is fairly narrow, 35, 40 degrees of your sight. But again, they're new. The technology is out there. Microsoft came out maybe about 3-4 years ago, and they compressed a lot of technology into the standalone headset. It's a really amazing device, but we still have a long way to go. Right? We still got plenty of things to figure out. And again, everyone's playing with this stuff on their phone. So there are a lot of cool venues to go check out VR and AR. Have you all explored the city and found some of the spots like Reverie? Anyone heard of that? See what else we got on the list. iSimu VR, I think that's downtown. The Void is coming around, and then there's all these other platforms. So I'll go over some of this. The Reverie is a VR hangout spot. So it's around the corner, and they have these booths where you go hang out with your friends. You rent it about an hour, 30 minutes, and you just go play VR. It was a really cool concept. Nice music, nice crowd. The Void is something unique. I don't have an example of the Void in here, but what they've done is they've gone in and created this physical space, right? They got all these real world components, and they put the users in virtual reality. So what you see in VR has a physical thing you can touch. And they're basing it on Star Wars and Harry Potter, all these various movies experiencing popular stories that we have out there. There's one in Orlando, but Atlanta's going to get one. It may be here already, but we're getting one. So, you know, keep that on your radar. They're going to need people to make stories, make VR, make stuff. HMD, again, the Void uses HMD. HMD stands for head-mounted display. That's old engineering jargon. It's just VR now. And then mobile devices and AR and VR. So, the future of virtual reality. Where are we going to go with this? Has anyone seen the movie Ready Player One? Yeah. Anyone familiar with the TV show, anime, Sword Art Online? That's one of my favorites, that one, right? So, future of VR, full sensory, immersive environments, Sword Art Online, Ready Player One, where all our senses are fully engaged in these experiences. Currently, we are at visual and audio, maybe a little tactile. You know, something may vibrate. You may be able to touch a wall, right? But you know, we still have our sense of smell, and then our full motion, our body, our hands, seeing ourselves in the experience. Those are some of the limitations we have now, and that's why it's still not mature enough, because we're only partially engaging the user. It takes a long time to make this content. So until we get a faster process to developing our content, this is going to drive price of the technology up, which will limit who can use it and will limit the people who understand it. Which goes into the next point. We need a greater understanding. We need more people like you to grab the technology and to master it. And then go make money with it, right? Got to get paid. Let's see. We'll utilize AR, VR for more social engagements. Just recently, any Fortnite players in here? Okay, we got some. Just recently, they did a concert in VR, and it has gone through the roof. If y'all haven't looked at the article and see what's going on, Google Fortnite Marshmallow. They're revolutionizing how this technology is being applied. There's talks. Oh, sorry, go ahead. So, say your question again?
I seen that they had like VR connect to it, but like when I check it out, it's just like you just hit the VR button and it's like the screen turns.
Those are the limitations that you're seeing. Right, so you get into these experiences and it's only like you do 3 things. Right? They're boring. They get boring. It's novelty at this point in time. So to answer your question, there are more complicated experiences. In the DoD world, we have some extremely immersive and high fidelity experiences. We're in those simulators for 10 hours at a time, right? That level, those simulators cost $30 million a pop, right? These headsets are maybe 300, with the Hololens being at the top end at 3,000. That's nothing, right, compared to the other stuff. So the technology is still expensive. The development is still hard. And we need more stories, more engaging stories. Question? Absolutely. So the question was, what type of items as far as haptics, are we simulating, recreating heat, cold, temperature environments? Yes, there are entities out there, entities right here in Atlanta. I think one of them is called VR Glove. They even invented a glove where you can feel the virtual item that you're trying to grab. So you're trying to grab a block, let's say it's made of wood, you can feel it, it'll give you some feedback, and then you can crush it with your hand. So those are the items we'll need to solve. Those are the challenges we'll need to solve. Did I answer your question? Okay. Social interaction, virtual travel, like, hey, you know, people putting these things in the stadiums and arenas. Like, I don't need to go to Super Bowl. I'll just put the camera in there and let someone virtually experience. I briefly touched on that, talking about Fortnite and the virtual reality concert. Again, here, this is where the money is at, right? If people can figure out how to transform complex sets of data into visual an experience, those people are going to make a lot of money. That's where we're at. If I can go to a board meeting, I don't have to have this long spreadsheet. I can put on this headset and visualize the data. You know, this is what people are asking for, and this is what people are going to be pay for. Telematics is the notion of just data about the performance of something. So your car has this computer in it. It's logging the oil. It's logging the pressure, tire pressures. It has all these things. That's telematics. It's just the information that we track to gauge the health of equipment. All right, and then location navigation. We all use Google Maps and get the HUD type capability. Okay, so I'm just going to go over a few items, but as well as the tools that you have available to you at the school, a lot of this technology is available on the internet, and you can immediately engage and make this stuff right now. You don't need anything but a computer and the ability to log in, an internet connection. You can go out there and start making your own animations. You can go out there and start building your own characters. A lot of people are using Unity 3D. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Question?
What about hardware? Like, is there like a level on how to make the hardware that needs to be on?
How to make the hardware. Can you rephrase the question?
The projections, the hardware of it all, like not the software, the actual.
The engineering. And the hardware development. Okay. Is there curriculum behind it? This is my personal experience and opinion here. I have not seen a lot of people get into it from a hardware standpoint. I think we could use more students, more individuals asking those questions and want to get behind the hardware. So a lot of us are artists. A lot of us want to create our stories, but making it work, you know, what's the technology behind it? I don't get that question at all, period. So where do they go? That's a good question. This is why I'm so active in the community, to get out here and say, hey, you can build this stuff, buy this stuff, and make it happen. Where do you go to get the training? It is still hard to get the training in this stuff. So I give an example. Some of this technology is used in the film industry. So individuals are picking up the technology in the hardware schools through filming. I'm a 100% engineer. I got all my skills from building it. I design from the ground up. I go do product evaluations. And I don't even know of many engineering programs. I think there's something at Georgia Tech where you can get in it hardware-wise. My school, University of Central Florida, where we offer it in the engineering department. But there's good questions. I don't have a lot of answers around it. I don't think it's defined. I think we need some work there. Good. Okay, so back to my chart here. You can build your own worlds using modeling tools. Unity is here, but I'm an Unreal Engine guy. I love Unreal Engine. And then for hardware-wise, you asked about hardware, but now there's so many cloud services, it's reducing the need for complex hardware. So I'm going to take us through an exercise, and we're going to build a character in real time. Y'all up for that? Okay. All right. Autodesk character generator. You can't see that. Okay. Online tool, Microsoft Surface. It's not a powerful machine. So you start out with your base character. This is a T-pose. You'll hear that term used a lot when describing people or individuals in a 3D space. T-pose and then an A-pose where their arms are down. And what this is setting it up for is to apply various skins, textures, outfits and we use a standard pose to look at it and to configure that. So I'm going to, let's see where I'm at. We have some women over here, and we have some men over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask for volunteers by raising their hand, and I'm going to select you, and you're going to help me make a decision. So we're going to pick a male, female. Who can help me? Which one you want? Female, good. I'm just going to grab right here, okay? Let's see what happens. I hit customize. All right. So we have a couple of different items. We have her head characteristics. This one will be skin characteristics. Will it load? Right. We're going to go, we'll do these 5. I picked individuals. There's eyes. There's hair. We can select some hair. I'm thinking, oh, body type. This is going to be a fun one. And then clothes. All right, I'm taking forever to load. Okay, starting at the top. We are going to make some changes to her head. So you see the options I'm scrolling through on the right side of the screen, and we can give her a rounder face or faces, older, younger. So I'm scrolling so you can see. Short. I need a volunteer and get one person. Okay. So you see the names. I'm going to scroll. Give me one to pick. Haley, awesome. All right, so that's our Haley face. And what I couldn't do with this tool, I don't want to go too much into the tool, I just kind of want to go through the experience. I can add 2 faces, and then I can do some configuration between the 2. Make even more unique adjustments. Now, I only do this one because I think I have a slow connection. But you can see where I can make minute changes and really configure this. Okay? Thank you. All right, what are we putting on her next? We can do her skin. All right, so I'm just scroll through so you can see what we can select. And the top ones with the blue ones are premium, so I can't use any of those. Okay, volunteer. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Strike. Where was it? Right there. This one? Yep. Okay. There we go. Okay, eyes. Who wants to do the eyes? I see your hand over here. Hazel Brown. You're going to have to help me guide it to which one you want. Right here? Good? All right, what do we got next? We got hair next. Yes, when it loads, we'll get some hair. Okay, so here are our options. Which selection would you like? The gold one. Which one's gold for you? Over here? Where's the mohawk at? Oh, right here? Okay. That's actually kind of cool. I like that. Okay, what do we want this person to look like? Who's the volunteer for help me select the body? You ready? Okay. So here are my options, and there are a lot of variations we can make. So the ones with the blue circle in the upper right we can't use, but the rest of them we can. So here are the types that we have. Did any stand out for you? Go up, go up. Wait, well, you can do the next one. She's got this one. Well, okay, go ahead. All the way up or down? Okay. Keep going. This one? Miss Bone? We got to find an outfit for it now. I don't know how we're going to do that. All right, so it went in. All right, and I think there's some merging because there's another one in here. So let me adjust this all the way down since y'all want to really make it look interesting. Okay. All right, the last one, I'll break this one up maybe in two parts. I think we do shirt, pants, and shoes. Yeah, I see the three options. Shirt, pants, and shoes. We got three more. Who wants to do the shirt? Anyone? You look like you want to raise your hand. You want to do the shirt? All right, well, it's a long list. Let me scroll through. All right, anything stand out for you? All the way up. Okay. Let me know when to start. Okay. Third from the right. This one? Hey, this is a community model. This is democracy at work for us. Okay, I need a volunteer for the pants. Good. They're going to load, and then I'll scroll through them, and you help me find some pants. All right. All right. Does anything stand out? All the way up? This one? Okay, the last one are shoes. Who's going to be my shoe creator manager? Anyone? Someone in the back. Awesome. All right, shoes. Oh, here's our options. Which shoes do you want to put on our character? All the way to the right, this one? Well, over one more. That one? All right, some fresh kicks. All right, they're on. So welcome to our creation. All right. This is our community model. Thank you. All right, let's hit finish. Now we got to do one more thing. This is always the hard part. Gotta get a name. You want to give us a name?
Girl rap.
Girl.
Rap.
How do I spell it? Do I have any unique spelling of girl or just like normal spelling?
Like giraffe, but girl.
Girl. R-A-F-F?
Yeah.
Like so? Okay. All right, girl rap is our thing, right? So you can see some of my previous models, and they all go unique. It's an amazing experience to watch these models be developed by a community. Okay, so we went through the exercise of creating a model. That took all of maybe 10 minutes, right? It's that easy. So what you can do is you can take this model, it's free to export it, and then I want it to move. I wanted to do some stuff, right? So I'm not going to download or upload it and go through that. I'm just going to use a pre-made model. But I take it over to the next tool called Mixamo, and then I give it some animations, right? I'll load it into this tool, and we can do different stuff. So here, they have preloaded models. I'm going to go with the one I have, but just to show you that there's an option in here. They have all these models already preloaded, and you can animate. And of course, you can upload yours. So you upload your model, and we call the animation in the gaming industry, we call that rigging, where you're adding these keyframes, these animations to it. Here at this particular school, you have an amazing volumetric capture lab where they can record people in 3D in VR. It's an amazing experience. It's slightly different doing motion capture, which is another technology for capturing motion and animation, where they put a suit and all the dots. That's a mocap. We call it mocap. And I think you're gonna see all this stuff on your tour today. So here's our character, and I got to do some generic. We'll pick about 3. So it's a lot of stuff on here, a lot of movements. Again, by hands. Oh, I already got 2 hands. So let's do the first animation. If you want to help me, or did you have a question? Okay, go ahead. Question. For these are 100% free. Yeah. When I created some of my experiences, I use these tools because I had a limited budget. So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna use the free stuff. Troy, did you have a question as well? Oh, okay. We'll get her boxing in a second.
Do you know if APIs for like standard like streaming stuff runs in virtual reality the same, or do they have to make a version of their website for virtual reality?
When you say they, who do you mean?
Like
The APIs are proprietary to whatever environment, which is another problem, a challenge that everybody wants to be the first person to make it and raking all that money from having the technology. So my Oculus Rift doesn't talk to my HTC Vive, doesn't talk to my PlayStation 4. It's annoying. In the DoD world, we have simulation protocols called HLA, high level architecture, and what's that? Department of Defense, sorry. Department of Defense, we use a protocol which is standardized and open so that we can have these massive virtual experiences. We had thousands and thousands of people all over the world in the same virtual experience. So I'm aware of the technology. I don't see the prosumer-consumer utilizing techniques like that, which is another indicator to me that it's not mature enough yet. Did I answer your question? Okay. You look like you were about to ask something. Sure. We're going to do boxing, as my brother requested. So where's boxing? Oh, here it is. And here's boxing. So to the very right of the screen, we can change some items. Right? You could customize the animation. So I sped it up just a little bit. You know, I want to do like a slower boxer, slow it down a bit. So you said hip hop? Hip hop dancing? Right? So this is how Fortnite dances are born, right? Someone puts on a mocap system, they start moving around, and next thing you know, you got all sorts of dances people are doing. It's really that simple. Absolutely. One more. We do one more. Anyone else want to select one? Belly dancing. Let's see, where's that one at? Old man. It's at the top of the bottom. I don't see it. Yep, gotcha. So these are just some of the tools that are available to you to create this content. It's not complicated. It's really easy, and they're free and open. You can download them and integrate all the various tools and do different things with them. So I'm getting close to my time. I have about 5 minutes left. So I want to open it up to ask, are there any questions?
Like all the movements and everything, is that like, you know, when you watch the programs and they have the people connected to wires and some, this is all this was created?
Yep, that's a motion capture system. So they put the dots on the body. We're creating new technology, such as the Xbox. They have the Xbox Connect, and people have transformed the use of that technology into a motion capture device. I use it to allow dancers to manipulate audio and music. So you can do some cool stuff with the technology. Sounds like you're in the hardware, so diving in and hitting YouTube, you know, some DIY, do-it-yourself individuals are creating some good stuff out there. Sorry, I saw another question. Someone was about to raise their hand.
With the frames, does that mean like that's how many pictures or that's how many videos they have to take at the same thing?
Yes, kind of, sort of. Where do you see that at? Right? So what's happening, there's a notion, just like video, there's a notion of how many, like you said, pictures you need to take per second to create a smooth looking animation. So video, our TVs are 30 frames per second. You know, our phones are hitting 60 frames per second. You got 60 still images stitched together behind each other, squeezed into a second. It gives it the smoothness as opposed to being choppy. So that's what these are. So you have this motion capture system on, and it's taking snapshots of your position 60 times a second, right? So after this experience, I've done that, and I have 700, almost 800 snapshots of movement. Okay, yes, ma'am. So what you can do, you can take it and put it in these world generators. Let's see, units, let's see what they look like. So there's Unity 3D, Unreal Engine. Right, so you take these, we call them assets. That character, what was her name? Girl Rath. You take that asset and you put it into this world. You have a team of individuals building these massive 3D worlds. Fortnite, actually Epic, Unreal Engine, this is the back end for Fortnite. They're the inventors of that. They're making a lot of money. Their tool is free for you to use. You can go make your own Fortnite. Right? They just recently released $12 million worth of free assets. So the high-end video game models, it was called Paragon. Paragon and Fortnite were released at the same time. Fortnite became popular. They retired Paragon and said, hey, we're just going to give that away. It was to the point where I had invested maybe about $200 in Paragon. They made so much money, Epic gave me all my money back and say, hey, thank you for playing our game. Here's your money back. That's how much money they're making off this game. All right, I got a few more questions. Go ahead. So now, yeah, you can do complete movies and experience and stories in them, and they have the tools, the jargon that you will see in the film industry.
I was just asking, isn't this the tool that
There are some licensing fees once you start selling it, but to develop at a consumer, prosumer level, it's free to us. But at my company, we have a license agreement, and we do have to pay for it. But you know, we're making a certain amount of money, and it's a threshold. Did you have a question?
No.
Okay. Go ahead.
When you're making this stuff on a developer level, do you make it for like platforms, or can you make this stuff sort of like as a whole like executable and it can just go on any platform? Like, or do you put like a target gaming system or when you start creating?
Answer your question. These tools are diverse enough where you can target your platform, and they pretty much will make something for whatever it is, and you can build those as needed. You can build for mobile, build for desktop, build for console devices, Xbox, PlayStation. So you can use these tools to create on any platform. Okay. I think there's a question in the back.
Like the first one that we created, like once you do that, like within that website, is there like a way to, like what do you do with them once you create that?
So we have a character in the T-pose. We've created it, we download it, and save it. And they're like, okay, you want to customize some stuff. You want to change the color of the clothes a little bit more. You can take it into tools such as Blender, which is a free modeling tool, and customize it. So that's one thing you can do. You can take that asset and put it into these massive worlds that you've built using Unreal. I'm just going to see if there's a picture down here. I don't have a good example of it. So there's a little bit of the builder. So in these tools, you can create these worlds. I lost a picture here. It says, please wait here. Anyway, I'm at the end, don't sweat it. You take the asset, the model, and you put it into a builder where you have, let's say a video game. You have a cityscape, you have a junglescape, you have a spaceship, and then you use your asset to run around, or that's the theme or someone you're trying to rescue. So you put it into a larger environment.
Okay, so did you like list the website for like the builder, like once you like created your character, like you would just take that character and put it into, it'd give you a link on the website?
No, you download it and they give you a file. The particular file format we use, the popular file format is .fbx, .obj, and those tools online will allow you to download it in the popular formats for the game development engines. Okay, I think I got time maybe for one more.
So the download file, is it downloaded as the specifics of the character, not necessarily movements and that doing that?
Right, so you get all these in the asset, it's all this stuff in there. You got materials, which is typically the color of the polygons. I'm getting real technical. So it's something called materials. And then there are skins. This is a actual image of like, okay, the clothes. And what you do, you take this texture and you wrap it around the model. That's called skinning. So you'll get all these assets. You got the materials, textures. It could be audio. You might have some audio in there. You get all that stuff when you download the model. And then you'll insert all that into the various game engines. So Unity takes a U3D asset, Unreal builds these very complicated assets. And here are some pictures of the world. This person is actually building and moving stuff. You can see all the controls, and they're manipulating and moving everything in their world. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up there. That's my time. I've gone over maybe a few minutes, so I appreciate the extra time. Thank you so much. I encourage you all to have a good time, play with this stuff. I had fun. And enjoy your tour. I do.
We definitely want to thank Mr. Daniels for taking the time to meet with us and present his
us, and it's great. If you, do you think you could share a list of some of these with us if you send it to us through email?
I can send the full presentation that I have.
Okay, that'd be perfect.
And just so y'all can find me, I'll put it up just for a moment.
Okay. Kiana will send that information once you get it to everybody.
Here's a list. I'll send this to the.
We have another question for you.
Oh, sure. And if anyone wants to